So as the lockout continues, we keep hearing that the sides are getting closer and closer and a deal is imminent. Maybe not the case. You're saying maybe not as close as we hope.
Well, not as close as we hope. They're definitely talking. That's a good thing. We've seen a big thaw between DeMaurice Smith and Roger Goodell. That's a good thing. I think we got some clarity as to how far Roger Goodell's authority goes in the owners' meetings that were in Chicago about 10 days ago. But at the end of the day, both sides can agree on the rookie wage scale. They've agreed for the most part on when or if there will be a move from a 16 to an 18-game schedule. Player safety issues, everybody's on the same page. And as far as taking care of the retired players, they know they have to. What they haven't agreed on is who's going to pay to take better care of retired players. And then the big one, which is the revenue split. How do we split up the $9.5 billion that is only going to grow? And the reality with what we know of this offer that the owners put on the table 10 days ago coming out of Rosemont, Illinois, is it's not that different from the offer the players walked away from 3 months ago.
Yeah, we know that the issue is how they divide the $9 billion, if there's $1 billion off the top. I mean, now that they're starting to get to where there really sounds like talking numbers, what is the difference? Well, the reality first is that we clearly don't know what was in that new offer. Why was there suddenly conversation coming out of those owners' meetings and some specifics leaked by the owners, clearly intentionally? It was propaganda aimed at the media and the fans to have people think that this is good news, that something's coming. The players hadn't seen it yet. It's not like the negotiations where Arthur Boylan, the chief magistrate, has had a gag order on him. So what happened is we got sucked in by the owners. They say that they're willing to give the players somewhere between 48 to 50% of all revenue. Now, we used to have two revenues. There was all revenue, which was the 9.3 or 9.4 billion. And then there was the designated revenues, which was about 80% of total money after a $1 billion credit off the top. The players have said consistently that they got 60% of designated revenue, but about 50% of all revenue. Well, now what the owners are saying is that they're going to give them 48 to 50% of all revenue. That's the same deal they walked away from, and that's why they're so far apart. Now, what we've also heard is that there's no more $1 billion off the top, but there are going to be some credits for the owners. Well, it's buried in those some credits that we don't know where it's at. And then the last, maybe most important piece is what the owners are really trying to do, in addition to getting back as much as they can now, is cap the players' share of future revenue growth. They want to give them 48 to 50% of the $9.4 billion they're currently making, but if it goes to $14 billion or $15 billion of the extra $5 or $6 billion, they're trying to put a severe limit on the players' share, and the players have to decide, at what point are they willing to give into that? They will give in at some point, but what I'm hearing is nowhere near to what the owners are asking for now. Sounds like a lot of changes still need to occur. It's kind of a way of making funny numbers and taking one out of one pocket and putting it in another, but eventually they'll have to come to some realization that there's somewhere in between, some common ground they'll meet at. That's the latest on what's going on with the lockout and why it may not be quite as close as people think. For all the latest news, be sure to check back at ProFootballWeekly.com.